Hello viewers, welcome back. Today I'm feeling a bit tired. It's 19th of March, 12:40 a.m. I was not feeling like making the video. I was going to sleep, but I thought of doing it just because I had long streak and I didn't want to break it. Let's start without any further delay. We don't need to I don't have anything to talk about today. Today was a bit busy, uh, and I did everything I wanted to today except one thing, and that thing matters most to me right now. It's my top priority, but I don't know why cannot complete it for some reason. And that's completing my lectures. I don't think I'm able to do it right now. I have to increase my timing. I did study today, but not for that much time. I have to increase the time, and I hope I do better tomorrow. Let's start without any further delay. Let us set up the timer for 21 minutes. We are on page number 105. We have to start by the heading the dopamine drive feedback loop. The dopamine driven feedback loop. I hope my voice is clear. Let's start. The dopamine driven feedback loop. Scientists can track the precise moment a craving occurs by measuring a neurotransmitter called dopamine. The importance of dopamine became apparent in 1954 when the neuroscientists James Olds and Peter, Milner ran an experiment that revealed the neurological process behind craving and desire. I think it's a bit too far. Yeah. Craving, neurological processes behind craving and desire. By implanting electrodes into the brain of rats, the researchers blocked the release of dopamine. To the surprise of the scientists, the rats lost all will to live. They wouldn't eat, they wouldn't have sex, they didn't crave anything. Within a few days, the animal died of thirst. In follow-up studies, other scientists also inhabited the dopamine releasing parts of the brain also inhabited the dopamine releasing parts of the brain. This time they squirted little droplets of sugar into their mouths of dopamine depleted rats. Into the mouths of dopamine depleted rats. Their little rat faces lit up with pleasurable grins from the tasty substance. Even though dopamine was blocked, they liked the sugar just as much as before. They didn't just want it anymore. They didn't just want it anymore. The ability to experience pleasure remained, but without dopamine, desire died, and without desire, action stopped. When other researchers reversed this process and flooded the reward system of the brain with dopamine, animals performed habit at breakneck speed. Breakneck, breakneck speed. In one study, mice received a powerful hit of dopamine each time they poked their nose in a box. Within minutes, the mice developed a craving so strong that they began poking their nose into the box 800 times per hour. Humans are not so different. The average slot machine player will win the six will win The average slot machine player will spin the wheel 600 times per hour. Habits are dopamine-driven feedback loop. Every behavior there is every behavior every behavior that is highly habit forming, taking drugs, eating junk food, playing video games, browsing social media is associated with higher level of dopamine with higher level of dopamine. The same can be said for our most basic habitual behaviors like eating food, drinking water, having sex, and interacting socially. For years, scientists assumed dopamine was all about pleasure, but now we know it plays a central role in neurological processes. Now we know yeah, processes including motivation, learning, and memory, punishment and aversion, and voluntary movement. When it comes to habits, the key takeaway to this: dopamine is released not when you experience pleasure, but also when you anticipate it. Gambling addicts have a dopamine spike right before they place a bet, not after they win. Cocaine addicts get a surge of dopamine when they see the powder, not after they take it. When you predict that an when when you predict that an opportunity will be rewarding, your levels of dopamine spike in anticipation, and whenever dopamine rises, so does your motivation to act. So the motivation to act is like craving, and the anticipation is also craving. I don't know. It is the anticipation of a reward, not the fulfillment of it, that gets us to take action. Interestingly, the reward system that is activated in the brain when you receive a reward is the same system that is activated when you anticipate a reward. When you anticipate a reward, this is one reason the anticipation of an experience can often feel better than the attainment of it. As a child, thinking about Christmas morning can be better than opening the gifts. As an adult, daydreaming about an upcoming vacation can be more enjoyable than actually being on vacations. Scientists refer to this as difference between wanting and liking. The dopamine spike, cue, craving, response, reward. So, before a habit is learned, it looks like A. Only when you get a reward, then only your dopamine will spike. Before a habit is learned, dopamine is released when the reward is experienced for the first time. The next time around, dopamine rises before taking action, immediately after a cue is recognized. This spike leads to a feeling of desire and craving to take action whenever the cue is spotted. Once a habit is learned, dopamine will not rise when reward is experienced because you already expected the reward. However, if you see a cue and expect a reward but not get one, the dopamine will drop in disappointment. The sensitivity See, the sensitivity of the dopamine response can clearly be seen when reward is provided late. So the dopamine release lowers down, lower than normal. Sorry guys. D. First, the cue is identified and dopamine rises as a craving builds. Next, a response is taken, but the reward does not come as quickly as expected, and dopamine begins to drop. Finally, when the reward comes, A little later than you had hoped, dopamine spikes again. It is as if the brain is saying, "See, I was right. Don't forget to repeat the action next time." Once the cue is identified, dopamine rise as craving builds. Oh my God. As craving builds, next a response is taken, but the reward does not come as quickly as expected, and dopamine begins to drop. Finally, when a reward comes a little later on than you had hoped, dopamine spikes again. If it is as if brain is saying, "See, I knew I was right. Don't forget to repeat this action next time." Delayed gratification. Is it like that? I don't know. Your brain has far more neutral circuitry allocated for wanting rewards than for liking them. Far more circuitry allocated for wanting rewards than for liking them. The wanting centers of the brain are large: the brainstem, the nucleus accumbens, the ventral tegmental area, the dorsal stratum, and the amygdala, and the portion of prefrontal cortex. By comparison, the linking centers of the brain are much smaller. The liking centers of the brains are much smaller. They are often referred to as hedonic hotspot, hedonic hotspots, and are distributed like tiny islands throughout the brain. For instance, researchers have found that 100% of nucleus accumbens is activated during wanting. Meanwhile, only 10% of the structure is activated during liking. Okay. The fact that the brain allocates so much precious space to regions responsible for craving and desire provides further evidence of the crucial role these processes play. Desire is the engine that drives behavior. Every action is taken because of the anticipation that precedes it. It is the craving that leads to the response. These insights reveal the importance of the second law of behavior change. We need to make our habit attractive because it is the expectation of a rewarding experience that motivates us to act in the first place. This is where a strategy known as temptation bundling comes into play. Temptation bundling comes into play. How to use temptation bundling to make your habits more attractive. Ronan Byrne, an electrical engineering student in Dublin, Ireland, enjoyed watching Netflix, but he also knew that he should exercise more often than he did. Putting his engineering skills to use, Byrne hacked his stationary bike and connected it to his laptop and television. Then he wrote a computer program that would allow Netflix to run only if he was cycling at a certain speed. If he slowed down for too long, whatever show he was watching would pause until he started paddling again. He was, in the words of one fan, eliminating he was in the words of one fan, eliminating obesity one Netflix binge at a time. He was so he was also employing temptation bundling to make his exercise habit more attractive. Temptation bundling works by linking an action that you want to do with an action that you need to do. In Brian's case, he bundled watching Netflix, the thing he wanted to do, with riding his stationary bike, the thing he needed to do. Businesses are masters at temptation building. For instance, with the American Broadcasting Company, more commonly known as ABC, launched its Thursday night television lineup for the 2014 to 2015. Every Thursday, the company would air three shows created by screenwriter Shonda Rhimes: Grey, Grey Anatomy, Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, and How to Get Away with Murder. They branded it as TGIT on ABC. TGIT stands for Thank God It's Thursday. In action to promoting the shows, ABC encouraged viewers to make popcorn, drink red wine, and enjoying the evening. Enjoy the evening. Andrew Kubitz, head of scheduling for the ABC, described the idea behind the campaign: "We see Thursday night as viewership opportunity and escape. Viewership opportunity with either couples or women by themselves who want to sit down and escape and have fun and drink red wine and have some popcorn. With what we see Thursday night as a viewership opportunity with either couples or women by themselves who want to sit down and escape and have fun and drink their red wine and have some popcorn." The brilliance of this strategy is that ABC was associating the thinking they needed viewers to do. What? Associating the thing they needed viewers to do. Watch their shows with the activities their viewers already wanted to do: relax, drink wine, and eat popcorn. Over time, people began to connect watching ABC with feeling relaxed and entertained. If you drink wine and eat popcorn at 8 p.m. every Thursday, then eventually 8 p.m. on Thursday means relaxation and entertainment. The reward gets associated with the cue, and the habit of turning television becomes more attractive. Yeah, it's very similar to us using phones after coming from work. Like, we have combined relaxation with watching using phone. So using phone is not what we need. Relaxation is what we need after work, but we combined it. This is known as temptation building. So you don't need to watch television, but you still do every day after you come back from work because you bundled it with relaxation that you needed. You are more likely to find a behavior attractive if you get to do one of your favorite things at the same time. Perhaps you want to hear about the latest celebrity gossip, but you need to get in shape. Using temptation building, you could only read the tabloids and watch what? If you get to do one of your favorite things at the same time. Perhaps you want to hear about the latest celebrity gossip, but you need to get in shape. Using temptation building, you will only read tabloids and watch reality shows at the gym. Maybe you want to get a pedicure, but you need to clean out your email inbox. Solution: get only get a pedicure while processing overdue work mails. Temptation building is one way to apply psychology theory known as Premack's principle, named after the work of Professor David Premack. The principle states that more people more people's more sorry more probable behaviors will reinforce less probable behaviors. In other words, even if you don't really want to process overdue work mails, you'll become conditioned to do it if it means you will get to do something you really want to do along the way. Okay, you can even combine temptation bundling with habit stacking strategy we discussed in chapter 5 to create a set of rules to guide your behavior. The habit stacking plus temptation bundling formula is: after current habit I will dash habit I need. After habit I need I will habit I want. If you want to read the news but you need to express more gratitude, after I get my morning coffee I will say one thing I'm grateful for that happened yesterday. This is the need that you need to do. This is the thing that you need to do, but you don't really want to do it. After I say one thing I'm grateful for, I will read the news. This is your want. You want to do this. You want to read the news. If you want to watch sports, but you need to make sales calls. After I get back from lunch, I will call 3 potential clients. This is the need. After I call 3 potential clients, I will check ESPN. This is the want. If you want to check Facebook but you need to exercise more, after I pull out my phone, I will do 10 burpees. This is the need. After I do 10 burpees, I will check Facebook. This is the want. I hope this I hope that eventually you'll look forward to calling 3 clients or doing 10 burpees, because it means you'll get to read the latest sports news or check Facebook during the thing that you need to do. Means you get to do the thing you want to do. We began this chapter by discussing supernormal stimuli, which are heightened versions of reality that increase our desire to take action. Temptation bundling is one of the ways to create heightened version of any habit by connecting it with something you really want. Engineering a truly irresistible habit is a hard task, but this simple strategy can be employed to make nearly any habit more attractive than it would be otherwise. Chapter summary. The second law of behavior change. The second law of behavior change is to make it attractive. The more attractive an opportunity is, the more likely it is to become habit forming. Habits are dopamine driven feedback loop. When dopamine rises, so does our motivation to act. This is the anticipation of a reward, not the fulfillment of it. It is the anticipation of reward, not the fulfillment of it, that gets us to take the action. The greater the anticipation, the greater the dopamine spike. Temptation bundling is one way to make your habits more attractive. This strategy is to pair an action you want to do with an action that you need to do. I've completed chapter 8. What I read today was the dopamine driven feedback loop, and in it we studied about how dopamine helps us in creating a habit. So what we read was, if we don't know that a habit is rewarding, then when we get the reward, then we get dopamine spike in our brains. And the writer also tried to tell us that dopamine receptors are scattered all over our brain, but it only activates most of the time when we want something, not when we like something. By like, I mean not by the rewards we get, but by the craving we get after watching a thing that has given us reward earlier. So let us take an example. If you did a habit unknowingly and you got a reward, you'll get the dopamine spike while you are getting the reward for the first time. And when you repeat this habit, and you get rewards every time, then your dopamine spikes shifts from the time you get the reward to the time when you just see the queue. Like if you see a queue of, like, let me take an example. If a drug addict see his drugs for the first time, he won't feel anything until he tries it. When he tries it, he get a dopamine spike, and when that's the reward. So the dopamine spike is related to the reward. But after it becomes his habit, he tried it so many times that he became habitual. Then whenever he sees the drugs, then only his right after that, when he understands the cue, right after that he will notice a dopamine spike. This happens because it helps us create a craving for the substance or the habit that gave us the reward earlier. So wanting is more important to a human than liking a habit. Like, you don't like a habit, you want it, then only you do it. You don't do a habit, you don't repeat a habit because you like it. You do it because you want the reward that you get out of it. If you understand this, then I think you have understood the dopamine spike. After, he told us to use temptation bundling. By this he means to bundle the thing that you need to do with the habit that you really want to do. Like if you really want to eat junk food, you can link it with going to the gym. That after I go to the gym and do my workout session, after that only I can eat junk food. Even though it's counterintuitive, at the one hand you are going to the gym, just after that you are making yourself habitual to eat junk food. That's not good, but I'm just explaining it in a way that you can understand it. You can replace the junk food, because junk food is not the only thing that people want. It might be something like people want to, I don't know. It's interesting that people don't want to do good things for themselves. Why is that? Is there something that I want to do which is good for me? I really want to do it. Is there something? Yeah, I think so. What's the thing that I look forward the most in my day right now? Am I doing all this because I have to, or I like this? So by reading this, I understood that whatever I'm doing right now has not given me any reward up until now. So why am I still doing it? Is it just because that I have started it right now and it's too soon to leave this? So this means I will leave these habits very soon if I don't give it a reward. So what should I do? The whole day I don't want anything, but I'm doing it anyways. What's the thing that I want the most in my whole routine? What's that one thing? I think I have to figure this out. I have to keep something that I want really and I enjoy doing it during my whole day. I enjoy the feeling after running. Actually, when I complete all my tasks in the day, I feel good that I did something today. Also, reading this book right now, I think yeah, I think reading is the most interesting part of my whole day. Or else, why would I do it today? I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't my liking, because I clearly wasn't motivated to do it. I don't know what rewards will I get after this. I haven't faced any rewards out of YouTube, but I'm doing it anyways because I think I like it. I want to do something out of this. I want to create something, and this is the process I have to go through to get where I want to be. So that's a reward for me. Building myself each day and knowing that I'm doing a great job, or knowing that I'm doing what I assigned myself, is the thing that's motivating me and giving me pleasure. Yeah, that's right. I'm not doing all this because I don't want it. I want it. And I not because sorry. I'm not doing all this because I don't like it. I don't know whether I like it or not. But I do know that I like the process of doing it. Yeah, sure, because the feeling that I get after completing the task each day and knowing that these tasks are taking me to a good place after some time is enough for me to perform these tasks every day until I get to that result. Even if I don't get to that result, I think I would be satisfied. But I know I will get to the result if I follow my routine or habits that I have planned to do, that I am doing every day. I think I will reach where I want to, and I don't think that anything will go out of plan or anything will go out of proportion if I follow everything correctly. So that's it for today. I hope you liked the video. I hope you liked what I read today. We read up to page number 111. We completed chapter 8. Let me show you. We completed up to this page. Sorry, yeah, let me do this. We completed up to this page. We have to start from here in this page. Yeah. So I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, work hard and find your purpose, guys. It's very important.